Breaking. 100 million-year-old plantation, slave plantation down in Louisiana just burned down to the ground. And don't nobody care. So if you want to know exactly why, let's get into it. Hello, and thank you so much for joining me today. Again, my name is Andrea Banu. Now, listen, just like I said on the intro, 100 million-year-old slave plantation was burned down to the ground in Louisiana. And listen, ain't nobody mad about it. Ain't nobody sad about it. Okay. So apparently this plantation has been around forever. Like I said before, slaves were on there. A whole lot of horrible things happened on that plantation. As you know, our ancestors do not play. And if you piss them off, they're going to come back and show your ass. Okay. They're going to come back and show you they mean business. They ain't playing. And you know what? They got tired. They got tired. I don't know exactly what happened, but we're going to get into it and find out.
Flames shooting out of the largest standing antebellum mansion in America. This was the scene last night in White Castle as the fire took a serious toll on the Nottoway Plantation house. Louisiana First News reporter Kayla Gaston speaking to parish officials today to get a handle on the damage there.
A day after a fire destroyed the Nottoway Plantation house, how the fire started remains under investigation.
It's a day that we were always afraid of.
Thick smoke and flames rose from the historic Nottoway Plantation Thursday afternoon, a 160-year-old structure in Iberville Parish, sparking conversation about its legacy.
There's so much controversy with the past, but you know, in the generations that we didn't live in that generation, right? The main thing is the preservation of history is so important.
10 fire departments rushed to contain the blaze. Though parts of the property were damaged, the main structure still stands.
We will continue our investigation, leave no stone unturned until we determine what has caused and why this fire happened. No timetable on how long it's going to take. This is a large-scale fire, so it's going to take a lot of effort.
The mansion, once a plantation home, now operates as a resort and museum, drawing visitors from around the world.
This event here is gonna take a toll on the Louisiana tourism.
Several departments responded to help fight the fire. No injuries were reported. For Louisiana First News, I'm Kayla Gaston.
So ultimately, he's saying, you know, this was something he always feared. So that means you knew it was a possibility something was going to pop off with regards to this facility. I don't never have to sit and think about, I always feared the day my house is going to burn down. No, that's not a thought in my head. So why did you always fear this day would come? Okay, that's number one. Number two, you didn't live in that era. Ain't that what you said? But you want to preserve history. Ain't that what you said? So what's wrong with CRT then? What's wrong with educating students about the reality of American history, which entails and incorporates slavery? You want to ignore that part of it. You want to wipe all that out, but you want to keep this standing upright, right? You want this plantation to maintain its history, right? Why is that? Oh, is it because you're making money off of it? Is that why? Is that why, tourism is going to suffer? Ain't that what you said? Oh, okay. So history only needs to be maintained when it benefits your pockets. Okay. I just wanted clarification. That's it. I just wanted to make sure I clearly understood what parts of history we needed to maintain and the reasons why. Okay. And so now that we've got that clarified, I want you, the people at home, to see how the Black community feels about this burning.
On today's episode of plantations that should have been burnt to the damn ground but are now used as bed and breakfasts, event centers, and wedding venues, we have the Nottoway Plantation in White Castle, Louisiana, right off the Mississippi River. This place is massive, y'all. It is actually the largest standing plantation to date. It's 53,000 square feet, has 64 bedrooms, 12 hand-carved fireplaces, amongst a whole bunch of other stuff. It is really huge. A lot of people do stay here because it is a bed and breakfast as well, but this is a very hot spot for weddings. To be honest, this is probably the most breathtaking plantation I've ever seen in my life, y'all. Who would ever want to be married in a plantation? I don't know, but it happens. That's beautiful. That's really nice. Sensational. But like all plantations, this place has a wicked, evil past that has left a lot of souls behind, and the spirits pay reparation. The story starts out with John and Emily Randolph purchasing this plantation. Both of these people were very, very big socialites. They came for money. John's father, who was a senior, was appointed the federal judgeship of Mississippi by President James Monroe. It's not a lot of information on Emily's people other than her father gifted the couple 20 slaves and $20,000 as a wedding gift, which in today's currency is a lot of money. The plantation was to basically set roots and put their family, especially their kids, out into society. Now, initially, Emily's daddy wanted John to run a cotton farm, but John thought that it was oversaturated and decided to harvest sugarcane instead. So when they purchased Nottoway Plantation, they had 5,200 acres and 155 slaves to cater to those said acres. But these people were experiencing spiritual reparations far before the place was even reported haunted. During this time, America was in a civil war, and John pledged his finances, a bunch of money, and his firstborn son to the Confederacy. He actually had all three of his sons fight in the war, but only one was killed, and that was the first son, which we know back then was the golden child, your heir. So this crushed John, but that didn't move him to treat his slaves well. Lynchings, beatings, grapings, unaliving, buck breaking, all of that was a normal, common thing at this plantation. This house remained with them up until 1889 after John's death, and Emily sold it. And for a time, it had deteriorated and almost was nothing, which would have served it right, but then someone bought it. We'll get to that later. Ghost number 1, the coachman. So if you don't know what a coachman is, it is the man that is driving the horse and carriage. And John had a very loyal coachman. To this day, people see this coachman at the gates waiting with the horse and carriage and everything, except there are no horses or carriages on this property. They hear the horses galloping in the middle of the night. They hear the wheels turning on the pavement. They hear the bell. This man shows up at least a couple nights a week. Guests, staff, everyone that steps foot on here has reported seeing him. Ghost number 2. The carriage house is haunted by a little slave girl. No one has the details on this little girl, but it's assumed that she was either lynched or died in a very, very slavish way. The little girl was reported to die over 150 years ago, but they see her playing in the carriage house. They've built a parking lot for their events, and they see her in the parking lot. There's also said to be security footage with her clear as day, skipping around the property, playing, acting as if she were still alive, like she doesn't even realize that she's not. But of course, they'll never let us see that because this is a major moneymaker for whoever owns it now. And who wants to have their wedding at a place that is full of black spirits? But she spooks security on a regular basis to the point that some of them have resigned. This is room 14 and ghost number 3. Remember earlier I told you guys someone bought this property. Well, in 1980, a lady named Odessa Owens purchased the property and turned it into what it is today. She eventually sold, but it was only under one condition: if the new owners would allow her to dine in this room. And they did. But it's said that she never left. She never checked out. Several brides, grooms, groomsmen, bridesmaids, staff, housekeeping have reported seeing a full apparition of Miss Odessa in this room. One housekeeper came out of the bathroom in this room, an ensuite, and seen a full body apparition sitting at the edge of the bed. She stood up and she dissipated into air. It scared her so much she quit. But there's also another spirit that occupies this room that they know is not Odessa. Whoever it is, they have taken a liking to women with long hair, and they love to play in their hair or touch the back of their neck or run their hands up the back of their neck into the back of their head. And it doesn't matter if you're in the shower, sitting down, like laying down, whatever the spirit is, has a thing for women with long hair. So much so, a bride was staying in this suite and decided by morning she was not getting married there. People have also reported looking in that mirror and in the back of them, they see an apparition of a woman. All in all, this place is haunted as hell, and I don't know one sane person with moral compass that would ever want to get married at a plantation.
Right.
Because if I know spirit the way I think I know spirit is petty. I'd actually like to know the divorce rate of couples that get married on plantations, especially this one. But whatever. All in all, the story of Nottoway Plantation and its hauntings make me really sad for my enslaved people, because they are still working and moving along this property as if they don't understand that they're not alive anymore. It's almost like purgatory. And then this place is right off the Mississippi River, which is its own video and spiritual hub in itself. Like, why would you ever want to start your life with your significant other here? It's the brazen weirdness and low-key disrespect for me, but y'all do you. So if you ever want to fuck around and find out, you can get married at the Nottoway Plantation.
Right. You ever want to F around and find out and get married at this plantation. But there's more.
But wait, there's more. There are more spirits that are shown in this Nottoway Plantation bonfire. Okay, if you look at the top of the roof of this plantation, there's a figure that I circled, and it looks like a man riding a horse. I mean, it's clear as day to me, and I think other people see that as well. But yeah, this isn't just, I mean, again, you can see it, you cannot see it. You could say that this is, extra. This is a conspiracy. We're making it up. But I think there's symbolism, and I think spirits are real and it can manifest. And sometimes you need photo proof of these paranormal activities, or to see proof that, there were people that were harmed during the antebellum times, okay, during when this plantation was thriving off of slaves and servants, okay? So let's be real. Let's not act like this is just a beautiful home that people just go to weddings and do these having a great wedding venue here. This was a really historical place that was horrific for people. Mm-hmm. And I think some of the figurines are manifesting. So I hope their spirits are free. I hope they're in a better place. And if there's other spirits who are tormenting these spirits during the antebellum times, may you go to the afterlife that you deserve. But yeah, I see that spirit, and there's plenty more. If you see anything, please comment. But yeah, there are things going on in this picture, and it's clear as day.
That is what is very interesting to me, is that, that gentleman at the very beginning was like, listen, we weren't here during that time. We didn't have any sort of say or significance with regards to slavery. So, it is what it is. No. That's not how that works. Because when y'all bought that and you took it over, there was no cleansing. There was no atoning. Though there was no, apologizing or trying to do anything to bless that property and assist those negative spirits, or assist those spirits that have been negatively impacted and tormented, cross over. Show them respect, show them honor. You know what I'm saying? Cleanse that location. But no. You didn't have no parts in it, so you don't give no damn, right? So all those people are still, like she said, in a spiritual purgatory, haunting and living on those grounds. And you continue to make money off of it. Slaves built that property. Slaves built that property, and slaves tilled the land and did everything for that particular plantation. And their spirits are still entrenched in that soil, on those trees, in the ground, and every brick by brick of that plantation. There's no honoring them. It's just whatever. And then you continue to reap the benefits off their labor by turning it into a bed and breakfast. I will say this. I am grateful that no one was actually hurt in this fire. Grateful for that. However, However, we need to go ahead and burn that legacy down. You don't want to keep CRT. You don't want us teaching history in the schools. So burn it down. If we're going to erase it, let's erase it. You want to go in there. You want to talk about dismantling the African American Museum down in DC because you know what? You don't want to rehash that. You want us to forget about it. So burn that mother down. Burn it down. You don't need to profit. You don't need to continue to profit off the backs of slavery. Okay. So you want us to erase it? You want us to forget it? Then you shouldn't have no problem burning this mother down. Okay. Okay.
Talk about the Nottoway Plantation burning to the ground. I've, seen comments from many of the toilet paper colored people.
Oh, no.
How we, Black, Afro-Indigenous, in this day and age, how we shouldn't have anything to say. We shouldn't complain. We shouldn't have any kind of opinion, thoughts, or feelings because we've never been enslaved. We've never had that experience. So I guess they feel maybe it's not right for us to say anything about it, that we should just kind of dismiss it and stop bringing it up, stop talking about slavery. But let me say this. The blood, sweat, tears, pain, suffering, trauma, assault, abuse of our ancestors is in every piece of this land across the country.
Right.
And that plantation was a testament to that. And something else, there are families who still have generational wealth because of slavery.
Right.
Some of y'all are able to drive y'all BMWs and Mercedes and send y'all children to expensive private schools. His wealth on the backs, the blood, the suffering and pain of African and Afro-Indigenous peoples. But should we not talk about that? Should we not say anything about that? Right.
And that is the point. You know what I'm saying? You want to erase this history when it's convenient, right? You don't want to erase the benefits and the financial resources that you continue to benefit from. But when it comes to telling the truth and letting that truth be heard and letting that be told to your children and our children, et cetera, so it can never happen again, you want to erase that. You want to hide that. No, we're not going to hide it. The same way you're not hiding the fact that you got this big old plantation that was built on the backs of our ancestors and you still reaping the benefits. Let me tell you a story. Okay. I was in a meeting. Okay. There was several people in this meeting, Black, white, everybody. There is a gentleman in this meeting, and he is, a proud descendant of Portuguese colonizers. Okay, whatever. That is your right. That's not how he labeled it. That's how I received it. Okay. So he's talking about his Portuguese ancestors and how they came and conquered this, conquered that, yada, yada, yada. Right. And so then he talks about slavery. Okay. So I'm sitting here. I'm cool. I'm calm, collected. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm not going to disrupt. Right. He proceeds to go on and talk about, his Portuguese ancestors and slavery. And somebody in the meeting says, well, how did all of these Africans and African slaves get here? So now this man gonna say, oh, well, they came here for a better life. Listen, when I tell you my mind went black, my eyebrows fell right off. My eyebrows fell off my face. They couldn't be lifted no higher. They just fell off my face. I lost my shit. let me tell you something. I mean, first of all, you can feel however you want to feel about slavery. You can feel as proud as you want to feel about your ancestors, but you're not going to disrespect mine. You're not going to disrespect mine. Not in my face. Not in my face. Came here for a better life. You talking about great unalived, butt breaking babies thrown to alligators as alligator bait. I mean, the most horrific things you could ever imagine were done to my ancestors, and you're gonna have the gall to stand up in front of me and a crowd of other people and say they did that because they wanted a better life. Hold on, wait a second. Let me get this broomstick and get in your ass. Okay. I was ready to fight. Like, hold on, wait a minute. I will reach back. Okay. I will summons these ancestors. Okay. And teleport into your ass. Okay. Listen, don't you play with my ancestors. Hey, listen, don't you play with my ancestors. Okay. And listen, them people went through too damn much to be playing them kind of games. Not on my watch, not on my dime. And it was a little Zoom meeting. Listen, if I could have teleported and put my foot in his ass, I would have done it. And everybody had to calm my black ass down. Cause I was like, no, we not. Not on my dime. So you better listen. They can pretend it didn't exist. They can pretend that was the past. They can pretend they ain't have no parts in it. But what you not gonna do, what you not gonna do in my presence is pretend it didn't exist. You can do whatever you want to do on your own time, on your own dime, okay? On your watch. But when you get in front of people that look like me, oh, you gonna find out. You're going to find out. And them ancestors, they ain't forgot about that. They do not listen. Y'all can pretend that they ain't here no more. They still here. They still watching over our asses. Please. Okay? Them folks say, you know what? It's time. Okay, so you cannot believe in God if you want to. You can pretend that God don't exist. What Erykah Badu say? Most intellects don't believe in God, but they still fear us just the same. Let me take a sip on that. Most intellects do not believe in God, but they still fear us the same. Okay, we don't play them kind of games. And it's a new day. It's a changing of the guards. Truth is being disseminated all over this internet, all over the world, and they didn't open Pandora's box. They can't close it. And our ancestors are letting it be known, listen, baby, we still here. We still here. Why you think they cut us off from our spirituality? Why you think they cut us off from our religion? Why you think they cut us off from all that? Huh? Ask yourself that. Okay? Ask yourself that. They cut us off from our religion, our language, our land, our traditions, our spirituality, our religion, and gave us Christianity, gave us King James Version. Why do you think that is? I want you to sit and marinate on that for a minute. Okay? So yeah, the ancestors are still here. Yes. Their blood, their sweat, their tears, their trauma is still embedded in this soil. And it's going to come a day where this country is going to have to atone. Okay? It ain't over. Ain't no outsmarting, outwitting the Most High. I'm telling you that now. And so it's all kind of pale palm color people on the internet trying to tell their counterparts, this ain't no game. This is spiritual. This is universal law. This is God's law. And what I'm telling you now is you might want to atone. You might want to apologize. You might want to recognize. You might want to do right by God's people, because your day is going to come. And if this plantation was any sort of semblance of what is to come, you better get it together, and you better get it together now. So what say you about them ancestors coming and burning that shit down? What is your opinion? Do you think it had anything to do with Miss Annabelle being in New Orleans, or did the ancestors just get tired? Did the ancestors just say, you know what? We still stuck here and they still making money off us. You know what? Burn this mother down. Burn it down. Okay? And everybody who knows anything about the South know that it is serious. them spirits, that energy, all of that is still there, very much so trapped. I don't even drive through Mississippi, okay? I do not drive through Mississippi. Anytime I'm driving from one coast to the next, I go around that mother, okay? Because it's an energy, it's a spirit, it's a frequency, and it's in the trees, it's in the swamps, it's in the soil. And you know, I am aware of those things, I feel those things, and I don't even like to even be nowhere near that state because there's so much trauma, so much hurt, so much pain, and just driving through it, I hear it, I feel it in the trees. Okay. And so it's very real. You don't have to believe it. Listen, you don't have to believe in God. That ain't gonna make me, that ain't gonna sway me. But I can tell you right now, that ain't no coincidence. That ain't no coincidence. And so listen, it is a new day. It's a new time. And the only thing I can tell you right now, Black people, to do is stay prayed up, get on your frequency, get on your vibes, stay out of craziness and this chaos that they're trying to draw you in, because you need to conserve your energy. You need to conserve your lights. Okay. You need to conserve your lights and, just focus on everything that makes you feel lifted and liberated and free and beautiful, and put all that energy into your creativity and your children and your family so that we can continue to be lifted. Okay. Lifted. And so I just stumbled upon, brother, I'm gonna put it in the link in the description, and I'm gonna put a photo here, because if you are interested in honoring the ancestors and having a hand that is in Africa and beauty and rhythm and just magnificence, and tap into your ancestral greatness and excellence, I would implore you to play this video, play this meditation, and just let it play in the background. The imagery is divine. Okay. If you enjoyed watching the imagery of Wakanda and Black Panther, you're going to love this. It is beautiful. And so I really wanted to share this because I think more people should see this brother's work, because it is, again, incredible and divine. So again, what is your opinion about this 1 million years old, this 100 million years old slave plantation burning due to the ground? Do you think it is justice? Do you think this is ancestral atonement? Or do you feel like, hey, you know, the people that own it shouldn't have to suffer these kind of crimes or suffer this kind of retribution? And you feel away. I would love to continue this conversation in the comments. If you have not already, please do share, like, and subscribe. And until next time, this is the Community Ledger. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and watch the next video by clicking right here.